A man called police in a local Missouri town saying someone there had shot and killed his wife and children. He gave the address and police responded to the call. The hitch? It was the home of Missouri Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft, and it was all a sham.
I ended up sending my wife and my kids to the back of the house and the upstairs because I didn't know what was outside. And then I walked outside, my shirt untucked and just in shorts and my pockets hanging out of my shorts and my hands up in the air.
The police, after confirming his identity, asked to see his wife and children to make sure all were safe.
What about your kids, your wife? How were they affected by it?
Well, it was a shock.
Secretary Ashcroft was swatted, and he's one of the lucky ones.
Swatting is when somebody calls 911 and says, there's a prowler in my home, please come with a SWAT team. So this is a prank with a really quite dangerous edge.
In 2017, a Wichita police officer who didn't realize a caller had falsely reported a homicide and hostage situation at the home of Andrew Finch mistakenly killed him. Since then, swatting incidents have been on the rise. In May of 2023, the FBI set up a swatting task force to track the number of incidents. More than 600 tracked across the country. And as voting day nears, federal officials are prepping for election personnel to be a target.
We've been preparing for this moment and strengthening our laws to make it a crime to threaten an election official in their line of work, and also working to have strong partnerships with law enforcement.
Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson knows firsthand. She was targeted twice in August of this year.
I was not home, and it was my husband who was home in the middle of the night when he noticed on our cameras police approaching the home. Being former military, he knew how to approach the situation. It was de-escalated, and the officers filed a report and went on their way. But then, lo and behold, not 2 days later, I woke up and walked outside and was heading to work, and there were 3 squad cars, again, outside our home and police approaching me. And I said, I can't believe this is happening again.
And you remember Gabriel Sterling.
It has to stop.
The COO of the Office of Georgia's Secretary of State. He was swatted this past January.
This was a very sophisticated SWAT where they basically had gunfire in the background and said that there was violence going on at the home. They had 14 cars there in like less than 2 minutes.
Was there an investigation launched into finding out who actually swatted you?
As we understand it, the FBI did identify the likely culprits as foreign nationals. It was some Eastern European group that was doing it, and they indicted 2 members of it.
But even if swatting incidents can be traced overseas, they can be difficult to identify and indict. Secretary Benson understands the persistent threat and the unique times we're in.
It's, a horrific reality of election administration in this moment. And everyone who spreads lies or causes lies, or even our foreign adversaries who may be linked to some of these attempts, all of it really amplifies in the heat of this moment and shows why both the work we do is so important, but also there are real risks involved that we have to be aware of.
Risks these officials, along with many election workers, are willing to take as a duty to serve this country and its democratic system.
And Yasmin joins us now. Yasmin, how prepared do these election officials feel as we head towards Tuesday? And what, if anything, can they do to protect themselves against this kind of thing?
I'm going to be completely transparent. I think most of the time, a lot of these election officials feel very prepared until something actually happens. They feel more prepared now, though, than ever before, especially in comparison to 2020. And you heard Secretary Benson there talking about it, Secretary of State of Michigan, in that they're coordinating with local law enforcement as well as federal law enforcement, the FBI, in tracking, by the way, all election officials in various areas in various cities, especially cities that are more targeted throughout the country, identifying them, knowing where they live, and then, by the way, having a safe word with local law enforcement. So if, in fact, there was kind of a swatting call made to local law enforcement, for instance, were to show up at the Secretary of State's home, the Secretary of State then would use a subsequent safe word to identify that it was, in fact, a prank. And then when we're talking about Election Day, Tom, I mean, there's a whole other slew of issues that they're going to be facing. But, of course, using safe buttons there, erecting walls and barriers as well to keep election workers safe.
Honestly, America in 2024, it's so disheartening, isn't it? It can be.
Yeah.
Let's hope that we can have a better future.
Yeah.
Yasmin, thank you very much.
Crossed.
Yasmin. Yep. Yasmin Vossoughian.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.